Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, Path of Devotion, Verse 1. Acharyas have given wonderful introduction before beginning this chapter. I cannot give everything in detail, but what I understand, I will try and give it in a nutshell. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says in third chapter, Arjuna raised a question to Bhagavan Krishna. Hare Krishna, which one you consider better, Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga? Bhagavan explained what is Karma Yoga and what is Sannyasa Yoga. Bhagavan said, you choose the path. If you are fit for sannyasa, take sannyasa. If you are not, then do karma yoga. This is what Bhagavan Krishna said in chapter 3. Then in the 5th chapter, again Arjuna asked the same question in a different manner. He said, Hare Krishna, you are praising karma yoga and sannyasa. Please tell me only one, which is better for me. You are confusing me. I am getting confused. You are not confusing. I am slightly getting confused. So Bhagavan explained that what is achieved by a sannyasi is also attained by a karma yogi. Bhagavan said both are same and not different. Again in the 12th chapter, Arjuna is asking the same question in a different manner. He is asking Bhagavan Krishna, Hare Krishna, which type of worship or meditation is better, whether with form or without form? In other words, Saguna Brahma or Nirguna Brahma. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, since this chapter is named as Bhakti Yoga, many people misunderstand it as another form of yoga. Yoga means topic. This is used in all the other chapters like Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga. Yoga means it is the name of that topic. There are only two lifestyles. One is sannyasa and the other is karma yoga. The common misconception is that there are 4 types of yogas, namely Jnana Yoga for intellectuals, Karma Yoga for extroverts, Bhakti Yoga for emotional people, and Hatha Yoga for dullards. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says this is not true. This chapter is not on Bhakti Yogi, but on Bhakti. Then Swami Chinmayananda says, Bhagavan Krishna created an extreme interest in the intelligent student, that is Arjuna. At the end of the 11th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna said that he can be reached, that is Bhagavan Krishna can be reached only by single pointed devotion and not by any other means. Naturally, Arjuna wanted to achieve that state. We are also, if we are very much interested, naturally we also want to reach Bhagavan Krishna. Arjuna understood from the Vedas that Brahman is formless and nameless. Those days, Vedas were everywhere. So, whomsoever you ask, he will tell you Veda. Nowadays, it is not fully gone, but most of it, because all of us, we have adopted the English method of schooling. That is why we don't understand the importance of Vedas. He knows, Arjuna knows, that Brahman is not available for perception by the sense organs or by the mind and intellect equipment. Arjuna is raising a question in this chapter whether he should meditate upon the infinite form of formless or upon the form of Krishna. In other words, whether he should meditate upon the unmanifest or manifest. In short, Swami Chinmayananda says, Is idol worship justified? Can it help the mind to achieve the desired goal? In case yes, then what are the techniques? The entire chapter contains wealth of answers on the above queries. Hence, the question of Arjuna is a very, very interesting question. Whether idol worship is necessary or not. Not idol, not IDLE, IDOL, idol worship. Saguna Brahma may be cosmic form of Bhagavan Krishna or form with Sangha Chakra Gadapani or with the normal human form with two hands. Nirguna Brahma is formless. All of us know this. Let us drink the nectar words of Bhagavan Krishna along with Arjuna as we proceed. Verse 1, chapter 12, verse 1. Arjuna Uvacha Evam Satada Yuktaye Bhakta Tvam Paryupasate Yecha Pyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha Evam Sadada Yuktaye Bhakta Tvam Paryupasate. That is, there are those people who worship you constantly, consistently, always, in devotion, with a form, with a particular form, any form you take. So there are, that kind of people are there. Then there are second kind of people. Yecha Pyaksharam Avyaktam. There are those kind of people who worship you as Akshara and Avyakta. Then he is asking a question. Tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Among these two types, who is yoga vittama? Hare Krishna, who is better? Who is great? Or who is very near to you? Swami Dayananda Saraswati quotes here Adi Shankara on the definition of Bhakta. Adi Shankara defines Bhakta as Ananya Sharanaka, that is, those for whom there is no other refuge. The example, immediate example I can think of is Prahlada. Bhagavan Narayana was the only refuge for him. There are seekers who worship Bhagavan in a manifest form with deep devotion. That we have already seen. Other types of seekers are those who worship Bhagavan as Akshara, that is imperishable or not subject to change, and Avyakta, that is not available as an object of perception or unmanifest, formless. Arjuna is asking a direct question to Bhagavan Krishna, his Guru. Hare Krishna, please answer me. Should I meditate on Saguna Brahma or Nirguna Brahma? In other words, unmanifest or manifest form. In more simple terms, with form or without form. Hare Krishna, who according to you is best in yoga? Please answer my question. This is Arjuna's request or prayer to Bhagavan Krishna. Verse 1 again. Arjuna Uvacha Evam Sadada Yuktaye Bhakta Tvam Paryupasate Yecha Pyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha. Next verse we will see tomorrow. Harihom Sarvam Krishnarpanastu. Narayana Narayana